Shalom, Shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to YAHAWAH, BaHashem, YAHAWASHI, BaHashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And Shalom to my Akim and Akwath out there who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this final captivity. And today's topic's going to be entitled, What's More Important, Family or Obligation? Okay, so now, family doesn't necessarily have to mean family. It just could mean, or in this context specifically, obviously, I don't mean the Slakia. In this context specifically, I guess, yes, this is going to be talking about family, but it doesn't have to be family. It could be literally anything. Anything that you deem is very important and it conflicts with your obligations, not even in this truth or just in general, that's basically the divide or the conflict of interest in these two things that you hold dear, or I would hope that you will hold dear, and then the resolution of the conflict or your decision in choosing which route to take in terms of what's more important to you. Okay, so now in doing this lesson, I want to bring out one of my favorite anime characters now. Initially, I just thought, what a cool design, a nicely cool looking character. But after actually being older and actually seeing and looking at what he represents, I've been able to respect him to a greater degree, because this character Byakuya Kuchiki, when he is initially introduced, he is basically he's like I don't know what the word is, but he's basically so into doing his job. He's so into his obligations, his obligations to fulfilling his role. It takes precedent over any and everything, even if it's at whatever the cost. He's gonna fulfill his role. That's basically what he's doing. So the thing with that is, when I first, was watching Bleach when I was a lot younger, I forgot what age, I thought, why is he being so strict and all that? I didn't fully understand it. Okay, obviously being a child, well, not really. It just depends on how you grew up. But yeah, as a child, for me, growing up in a more lenient environment, I thought why it's not that serious. You don't really need to do that. Just chill out or whatever. And the thing is, the conflict that I'm talking about is in the Soul Society arc, when Ichigo, the main character of Bleach, is going to go rescue Rukia. Rukia got taken back to be executed. Okay, so Rukia is his sister, adopted sister, who he cares a significant amount about. Okay, so Slakia. So he cares a lot about his sister, yes, but the thing is, she broke the law, and because she broke the law, the higher ups or whatever, or their bosses said, okay, so because she broke the law, she has to be put to death. Okay, so yeah, very simple matter. Okay, so he's saying okay, so she broke the law, I don't have a choice, she has to, that's what my higher ups said. It's out of my control. I wish it didn't happen, but oh well, it has to happen. That's basically it. Okay, so now So now with that in mind, okay, I should have written this down better and taken it to point by point. Salakia, if I miss around a bit, but basically, yeah, he said, okay, she is to be put to death. All right, no, nothing. There's no helping it. Okay, so now with that, I'm like, okay, why, like that? But that's your sister. Like, shouldn't you, try to do something, or just stop it, or just, don't be a part of, don't take part in that. But the thing is, staying on to, questioning why is it that he's okay with killing his sister. And the answer to that is, while we're still on the questioning him, is because he is a noble. He is a part, yeah, right there. He is the head of one of the 4 great noble clans. Okay, so he has a lot, right? He has a lot of prestige, I guess. I don't know, but like people look up to him. Okay, so like he has to set a very high standard. All right, so if he bends the rules just for her, his sister, which isn't really his sister, that's his adopted sister, but he still cares about her, then that means that the rules, or yeah, I was just gonna say the rules aren't important and they're not worth following, because he is choosing to break the law just to benefit him and his family. Okay, so that is what I didn't understand back then at the time. But as I am older, now I can see that. And another reason, one of the things that actually inspired me to do this video is because I was listening to, it's like I wasn't listening, but I was reading. People were saying, oh, Byakuya, this guy was wrong for allowing them to kill or attempt to kill his sister, because that's his sister. He should have fought against it. But the thing that they miss, the thing that they don't understand, is the fact that, as I said, he is a noble. He is very high ranking, in a very high ranking position. He's a very notable person, that he can't just go breaking the rules. So if he broke the rules just for him, just for his benefit, then does that mean that, number one, the rules should not be followed? The rules should not be followed, mean that everyone else can break it. Number two, just be a disorderly bunch and whatever. Just basically, living in chaos. No proper order. All right, that's basically, that's the general gist of it. Okay, so with that, moving on to the more into his reasons is or his, I guess, his backstory probably it's his wife who died asked him, please protect my sister, or his sister. So this is his sister-in-law. Okay, but his parents said, stop breaking the rules, stop breaking the laws. You've done it enough times. Like, just stop with that. Okay, so right now this is what I was saying in the very beginning of the video. So now he is stuck between two obligations. Okay, the promise he made to his wife to protect his sister, and the promise he made to his parents to not break the rules. Okay, so on top of just following the rules, he has an emotional connection to both sides of the thing. Okay, which again, this is very important because it builds up to, okay, so now we have our own, emotional connections to, something like, I don't know, but like, for example, let's say, perfect example, Abraham killing, about the Abraham was told by the Most High Yahweh to kill Isaac. Okay, so Abraham is basically in the same thing. He cares about his son, but he cares about pleasing the Most High. So yes, there's that whole I guess the whole emotional attachment to both sides. Okay, if you love the Most High, you will heed His words. You will heed His words, follow after what He says. Okay, but at the same time, if you love your son, you're not gonna want to kill your son or your children in general. If you love them, obviously, no parent that loves their children wants their children to die. Very clearly, most people that have a normal relationship with their, as normal can get in this wicked kingdom, but as normal as could get, a good parent does love their child, and they don't want them to die. A parent would die for their children before letting their children die. All right, and okay, well, yeah, and that's basically the parallel I've gotten to here. Okay, so just like Abraham, Biakia didn't want to have their loved one killed. Okay, so Slakia. But again, it's that there's the whole emotional attachment to both sides, as well as the just the whole following after what you were told. Okay, so I forgot what's called Central 46, I believe that's the name of the people that were saying to execute her. So execute his sister, and that's basically not entirely not in a literal sense, but to the best of drawing comparisons that we can get to, that is basically his power, or the people that he listens to. Okay, that's basically the Most High Yahweh to Abraham. Okay, Central 46 is Yahweh to Biakia as vice versa. Okay, or not vice versa, but Abraham, or the Most High Yahweh is to Abraham. All right, so now he has his orders. They both have their orders, and obviously they feel like the thing that they're being told to do is hard, and they don't want to do it. But what Abraham did, okay, let's go down. Let's just go down to Genesis chapter 22, verse 7. And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father, and said, My father. And he said, Here am I, my son. And he said, Behold, the fire and wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering? And Abraham said, My son, Yahweh will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together. Okay, so now over here, they're not even at the offering site yet, but Abraham said prior, we're gonna go to the site, and don't worry about anything. Don't worry about anything. The Most High is gonna look out for us. Okay, He's gonna provide for us. All right. Now, Slakia. Notice the words. Notice the words that Abraham said. Okay, in verse 8, and Abraham said, "My son Yahweh will provide Slakia. My son Yahweh will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering." Okay, meaning that not directly meaning Slakia. The word is literal in the sense that he said, the Most High will send us a lamb. Okay, obviously, it was like, because we know Yahawashi is the lamb. Okay, so it's more metaphoric, but it's still a beautiful thing in the sense that it was intended to be metaphoric, but it turned out to be literal in this sense. All right, but Slakia, Abraham had faith that everything was going to work out. He had to do his obligation and whatnot, and he trusted the Most High, and believed that everything would be good. All right, now where is it? Verse 9, and they came to the place where Yahweh had told him of, and Abraham built an altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. Now I'm not gonna say that Abraham knew. Slakia, I'm not gonna say Abraham knew that a literal lamb would come. All we know is that he was going to kill his son for the Most High, but I don't. Whether he knew actual lamb would come is very debatable. Where is it? Where was I? Okay, so yeah, and bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. Verse 10, and Abraham stretched forth his hand and took the knife to slay his son. Okay, so he was getting ready to slay Isaac. Verse 11, and the angel of the Most High called unto him out of heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Lay not thine hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest Yahweh, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, from me. Slakia. So, verse 13, and Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in the thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered him up for a burnt offering in the stead of his son. But again, look at the verse 8, and Abraham said, My son Yahweh will provide himself a lamb. Okay, so yes, metaphoric in the sense of a lamb meaning the sacrifice, but like also literal in the sense that an actual sacrifice came. An actual sacrifice was there. Dang it. An actual sacrifice appeared, to the point where Isaac did not have to be killed anymore. All right. And, going back into, Biakia, where he was prepared to kill his sister, but the thing is, that was basically it. It wasn't. Obviously, there are more details into the story, but for the sake of keeping it simple, as well as talking about the certain aspects I'm trying to convey here, which is keeping your obligation, fulfilling your obligations, not keeping, fulfilling your obligations. Okay, he was just only aiming towards fulfilling his obligation. Okay, because his sister broke the law. She can't. So his sister broke the law. The higher up said she can't be she can't do this. She has to be killed because she broke the law. Okay, so that's basically the end all be all of it. And there were a bunch of people around his rank that were saying that were torn. Some of them said, that's kind of extreme. That's too much. You can't do that. And other people were saying, well, whatever. Okay, that's a law. We have to do it. And then some just didn't care and whatever. But again, it goes to show, it not goes to show, but basically, if he was in the mindset of doing what was right. For us, the actual lesson in this lesson is the fact that we need to be like Biakia. The current Biakia that I'm talking about, not the current, the Biakia that I'm talking about, and we have to be like Abraham in the sense that we can't allow emotional attachments to cloud our judgment. Okay, what we are sent to do, what we have to do, what we have to do it. We can't just get sentimental. We have to make the hard decision. Okay. Obviously, I say this, but I could be met with a harsh decision as well, and just remember what Abraham had to go through. He had faith. Okay, he had faith that it was gonna be all right. He was intending on killing Isaac, but he feared the Most High above all else, above his love for his son, and he was rewarded for that. Okay, so with that, you need to for us, we need to have faith that everything's gonna work out, and our obligation to the Most High, it takes priority over anything. Okay, because if you were in a similar position, which Lord forbid, well, but if we were in a similar position where for some reason you had to execute your a loved one, you would, for the Most High or whatever, because they went off and they did something wrong, or just in general, how this truth splits causes the division in families, because this truth causes division in families. You have to be able to just say, okay, you know what, I love my family, but they're not in this truth, and when all hell breaks loose, you can't do anything for them. Like, I'm not saying you have to go kill your family just because they're not in the truth. You still have to deal with your family, regardless of where you're at in your life right now, whether you have money to go to move out. Even if you can do it, go ahead. If you can't, then you have to deal with them. No one's telling you to be homeless just because you're in the truth and your family is not. So your obligations, just know that at the end of the day, your obligations to the Most High take precedence over everything. And yes, we have to deal with certain issues, but just have faith that possibly one day, even though while maybe right now, you're the only one that's in the truth in your family. Maybe one day through the will and through the will and mercy of the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahawashi, He opens the eyes of your brothers and sisters, your immediate family that you grew up with. Okay, so then they can come in this truth with you, and you're not divided against them anymore. All right. Matthew chapter 17, verse 20, and Yahawashi said unto them, because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. So, basically, if you have faith, it's basically saying the impossible will happen. So, this is a perfect example. The fact that she was sentenced to death. Okay, she absolutely had to die because they already sentenced her to death. And he was going through with it until the very end. But because of the story or whatever, he didn't have to do it. It was called off. Okay, and that's the miracle. That's the mountain being moved. That's the impossible being made possible through the will and power of the Most High Yahweh, because you had the resolve of making the hard decision of putting your obligation to the Most High above your family, metaphorically family, as in whatever other thing that you care about, but it's conflicts with your obligation with the Most High. So having that faith to be able to go through with it and trust that the Most High will make everything all right. Like it's not a matter of just choose, I love this more or something like that. It's a matter of I trust in the Most. I love the Most High. I trust the Most High, and I am obligated to put the Most High's orders above everything. Okay, as he was obligated to put his boss's orders above all else's. Okay, so that's basically that. Okay. Revelation chapter 2 verse 10, for fear not, Revelation chapter 2 verse 10, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tired, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Okay, so even in a perfect example, when we're faced with the charagma, are you going to take it just because you're dying, just because you're starving? Okay, in any scenario during Jacob's trouble, when we're struggling, are you going to you're gonna be put into two different scenarios. The first scenario, you take the charagma, you join in with the world, and you abandon the Most High, and then you're gonna die for it. Or you struggle, you endure until the end and you but you stay strong in rejecting the charagma, and through the will and power and the mercy of the Most High Yahweh, He will deliver you out of that affliction. Okay, so that's basically it. The whole moral of the story. If you are in between a rock and a hard place, okay, your obligation should first be pleasing the Most High, Yahawah Hashem Yahawashi. Right? Yes, you don't want to lose someone. Yes, you don't want to lose something or whatever it is that you're being forced to choose in. Believe that have faith in the Most High and trust that everything is going to be all right. That's basically the main point with this. And again, I just thought this was a very spiritual lesson. Okay, it's a very spiritual lesson to surprisingly spiritual, not unironically spiritual lesson to learn from this anime, I guess. From this anime, okay? Like your obligations take. Yes, you don't want to lose something, but at the end of the day, you are under obligation to do certain things, and you have to do them. All right, and with that, I hope this lesson was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to the Most High Yahawah, by Hashem Mashiach Yahawashi. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And with that, I want to say Shalom.